This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some big update to share with you. President Biden is pushing a new innovation bill to urgently address inflation. Jen Psaki says that student loan forgiveness through executive action is still on the table. When it comes to stimulus, Social Security, will those receiving benefits see a fourth stimulus check? 5 states to approve fourth stimulus and rebate check programs. And I'll give you the latest $1,000 per month universal basic income programs. And a new COVID breathalyzer test is on the market. And I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. And don't forget, I'm selling my 50-day gratitude journal, link down in the description below. It's only $4 on Amazon. If you want to improve your day and get in a better mindset, highly recommend it. Really powerful journal there. All right, next, let's get into the news. So FDA approves first breath test for COVID-19. So it's like a breathalyzer test that fits in like a carry-on suitcase. And this company says that they can produce 100 of these a week, and it's 91% accurate. So we might start to see these instead of the little swabs up the nose. So yeah, it's not really for personal use, but they'll have it at facilities. So I'll keep you updated on that. But FDA has just approved it for emergency use Thursday. And then once again, U.S. faces another COVID-19 surge as cases rise nationally. So cases are going up. Hospitalizations in certain places are rising a little bit too, and is caused by the mutant called BA2 that's thought to be about 30% more contagious, although still not as serious as it was before. So I'll keep an eye on it, I'll keep you updated on that. And then Biden pushes for innovation bill to help urgently address inflation. So President Biden acknowledged the urgent need to lower costs for Americans, calling on Congress to pass bipartisan innovation bill as one way to do so. So he spoke in North Carolina, pushing this type of thing, saying what people don't know is that 70% of the increase in inflation was a consequence of Putin's price hike because of the impact on oil prices. 70%. We need to address these prices and urgently for working folks out there, and that's part of why I'm going to talk to you about today, why it's so important. So a lot of people gave him slack for that, for blaming inflation because on President Putin of Russia, when a lot of people are saying, even Democrats are saying that before Putin or before the war in Ukraine, there was inflation. So basically through this, he's hoping that things will help out his chances, help out his polls, although not the case as of yet through this new innovation bill. So I'll keep you updated on that. And stimulus update, as inflation soars, Americans grow desperate for financial help. So if any time it was needed, stimulus now is probably the most important, especially for low income, for people with fixed income on Social Security, SSI, SSDI. Is help coming? Doesn't seem likely. So consumer price index rose 8.5% in March. As the cost of living gets more expensive, Americans are becoming increasingly desperate for a fourth stimulus payment. So when it comes to a fourth stimulus check, politicians have just completely abandoned that in terms of a general fourth stimulus check. Gas stimulus checks have gotten the most steam lately, but as in terms of a federal general check going out to the public, that hasn't even caught much wind in the sail as well. So it's out there. It's been put out there. There's press covering it, but in terms of Congress and actually making it into a law and you actually getting a check, it hasn't really happened yet. So I want to keep it real with you, let you know what's going on and be honest there. So fourth stimulus check not happening yet. Jen Psaki, White House press secretary, says Biden executive action on canceling some student debt is still on the table. I'm actually surprised that she said this. So Psaki made comments during an appearance on Pod Save America saying, yes, still on the table, when asked about student loan forgiveness, saying nobody's had to pay a dollar, a cent, anything in student loans since Joe Biden has been president, and if that can help people ease the burden of costs in other parts of their lives, that's an important thing to consider. That's a big part of the consideration. So she's been saying this for a while, saying between now and the end of August, Jen Psaki said the moratorium is either going to be extended or we're going to make a decision, as Ron referenced, about canceling student debt. Honestly, I haven't heard anything from President Biden about canceling student debt. If he was asked the question, he definitely avoided it. And it seems like the talking points now are that Americans haven't had to pay any federal student loan interest or payments since President Biden came in office, or I guess during the whole COVID pandemic and since then. So they're saying that, they're focusing on that as opposed to canceling it. Will it be canceled? I don't think so. A few days ago or videos ago, I mentioned that student loans are actually the #1 asset of the United States, meaning that they collect more money from student loan payments and interest than they do in taxes, I believe. I think according to one article that I read. So in terms of canceling student loan debt, it's almost like canceling a big income source. So I don't know. President Biden made the promise, though. I'll keep you updated on what goes on with that. Social Security. Will those receiving benefits see a fourth stimulus check? As mentioned before, a general fourth stimulus check doesn't seem possible. So for anyone on Social Security or anyone in general, low income, no income, anybody. So there was a Social Security fourth stimulus check petition that didn't really go anywhere by the Senior Citizens League. So to answer the question, is there going to be a fourth stimulus payment? No. Are people on Social Security going to get it? No. Could the COLA be higher? Yes. Looks like the COLA will probably be higher next year. When it comes to other stimulus, so 5 states to approve 4 stimulus and rebate check programs worth millions. So Idaho, $125 there. Georgia, $250 for individuals, $500 for couples, and then $375 for heads of household. Indiana, $125. New Mexico, $250 and $500 for couples there, and then New Jersey, $500 payment. So those are the approved ones. California with the $400 per vehicle, that has not been approved yet. And David Ige of Hawaii proposed $100 for each taxpayer. That has not been approved. So basically the ones I said are the ones approved. And then guaranteed income proposed for 15,000 people who may receive $1,000 per month. So Silicon Valley high school students may be getting a universal basic income program check. So these are for seniors in high school who experienced some form of homelessness. They're going to get $1,000 per month for about 15,000 students. Then $1,000 monthly payments for first-time moms. So this is the Bridge Project in New York City. It'll give $1,000 for first-time moms. Austin, Texas, giving out a pilot program here. So Austin pilot program to give struggling residents $1,000 per month. So this is going on in Austin. And yeah, the equity, what does it say? Yeah, so they're giving out $1 million to fund this program, $1,000 per month. I thought I'd get more information on something. Okay, so yeah, that's in Austin. It's more of a proposal at this point. And then Larry Summers is the former Treasury Secretary. He says a recession is likely on the way because of COVID, stimulus, inflation, a few other things. Take a look at this video clip right here talking about.
Welcome back. It's likely that if on Inauguration Day, someone had told President Biden that more than a year later, he could have unemployment at 3.6% and dropping, wages in the stock market on the way up, and the housing market humming, he probably would have taken that deal. But there was fine print, inflation. It's at a 4-decade high, and that has Americans sour about the economy overall. In our latest NBC News poll, adults disapprove of President Biden's handling of the economy by a nearly 2-to-1 margin. And it only has continued to grow. One person who saw inflation coming is former Clinton Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, who is now also predicting the U.S. is likely to fall into a recession next year if things don't change quickly. And Larry Summers joins me now. Mr. Summers, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Good to be with you.
Let me start with, what did you see that so many others missed? You know, we've seen predictions of inflation over the last 40 years. You're the one that seems to have gotten the timing of this hit right. What did you see?
I saw that we had a tidal wave of demand between zero interest rates from the Fed, a huge outpouring of saving that people had pent up from the COVID period, and massive fiscal policy from the December bill and then the stimulus bill that was passed. It just seemed to me that demand was going to overheat. We were going to have labor shortages. The bathtub was going to overflow, so to speak. and the inflation rate was going to pick up. And I think that did happen. And then things that I certainly didn't see, and I don't think others could have seen, the Ukraine war and all of the interferences in supply associated with that have created a bit of a perfect storm.
I'm curious, is it possible that with COVID and all the disruptions that caused, did we have basically two choices, a recession in the moment or throw money at the problem and risk inflation? Were we sort of stuck between two bad choices here?
I think we had very, very difficult choices, and I think people with good faith made choices. And I think while I disagreed with them at the time, I think the choices reflected the consensus of many outside economists. I think we were too slow to pick up on how rapidly the economy was recovering, and therefore we injected more demand into the economy, both in terms of deficits and in terms of monetary policy, than looks today to have been the right amount. Some of it was we were buying an insurance policy that we turn out not to have needed.
Right.
Just like I bought life insurance last year, and in a sense I wasted my premiums, but in a sense it was necessary to spend that money. But I was concerned last year that we were injecting too much demand into the economy, given all the configurations. And I don't think it was a sound strategy to create as big labor shortages as the labor shortages that we did create.
So, a recession, is it inevitable or is there a way to avoid it?
Nothing is inevitable or certain in economics, Chuck. The painful fact, though, is that historically, when we've had inflation above 4 and we've had unemployment below 4, essentially always since World War II, that's been followed by a recession within the next 2 years. Perhaps we will be fortunate and there'll be sufficiently rapid adjustments in commodity prices and other bottlenecks that will make that not happen. Perhaps the Fed will be extraordinarily skillful. But I think the Fed, and lucky, but I think the Fed has a very, very difficult job. I think we can make a contribution by doing things like the Strategic Petroleum Reserve release that holds down where oil prices would otherwise go. I think it's a time when we need to be looking at tariff reduction, because potentially that could take a percentage point off of the CPI. I think we need to look wherever we can at buying things more inexpensively when the federal government is purchasing. We need to look at immigration flows so as to address this labor shortage. But it's not going to be easy starting from where we are.
What are your thoughts on that? Is a recession going to come? If things weren't bad enough before, it looks like a perfect storm of more bad things to come. Let me know your thoughts on all that down in the comments below. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. I want to tell you the one thing that you should do. When you do something, and you don't learn, you will be a better person. If you learn, then you'll grow up and be more better at things that you learn. That's all I want to get the information to you. Guys, see you in the next tip of the day, and be safe. See you in the next tip of the day.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your support. So yesterday we got to go to the beach. We got to ride my one wheel, which is kind of like an electric skateboard where it's just one wheel, and you can see Bella riding around. She became a pro at it after just a little bit of time. She's ridden it, through the years, but probably yesterday was the best, most fun she's had on it. Anyways, hopefully you have a great rest of your weekend and Easter and all of that. And if you want to check out any of my latest videos, you could click up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.